minutes away from Oak right now. 30 away from Oak. I love to hear good news stories, particularly when we pinch something off some of the coastal areas. And I know that a man that's over the moon at the moment, Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo. Good morning.
Good morning, Kerry. Great to be chatting to you again.
Thank you very much indeed for your time once again. You must be over the moon about this. Dubbo, of course, has really pinched what is a fairly large carnival, haven't you?
We have, but I've just got to be careful I don't say it too loud, Kerry, because the Port Macquarie Mayor may not be very happy with me at the moment. The Port Macquarie had a tournament, the touch footy tournament for the juniors up there for a 3-year contract. Unfortunately for them, the last 2 years have been rained out, and so eventually New South Wales Touch said, we can't keep doing this. We can't keep having a tournament that isn't a tournament, so we're going to withdraw it from Port Macquarie and we needed to go somewhere else. And of course, when they looked around the state, they thought the best place to go to was Dubbo. So we've got that in February next year. That'll be a huge event. We estimate up to 10,000 people will be here for up to 4 days for that tournament. So that is huge. That's not going to just book out Dubbo motels. It'll be Narromine, Gilgandra. I think even as far as parks will be booked out with that tournament. So that is very exciting.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It is amazing what junior sport and all sorts of sporting things do for a regular community, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely right. So when you have junior sport, obviously the kids can't drive themselves for the tournament. So the kids have got to get in a car with someone else. So mum and dad come along. That normally means maybe a couple of siblings have got to come as well. So for each competitor in that tournament, you might end up with 4 or 5 people coming along. So that's why you just get so many people coming along to those tournaments. Already every motel in Dubbo for that weekend is booked out. Once the announcement was made on Friday afternoon, then bang, every motel, so they were inundated with phone calls, booked out for days there. So it is going to be fantastic. Every hospitality place, every cafe, every restaurant, even the retailers are all going to benefit from this.
Very much so. Now, can you tell me something? Being a bit of a klutz as far as this technology goes, how do you 3D print a building?
Well, 3D printing is quite popular, where people might print a small Lego piece or they might 3D print some little trinket. But it's getting to the point now where people overseas at this stage are 3D printing entire houses, entire buildings. And you can just imagine the complication of that when you set up this whole gantry and then start 3D printing. Now, we're pretty keen to do that in Dubbo. And a few months ago, we had a resolution go through council where we're going to have 3D printing of some houses in a certain housing estate. But in the meantime, we also believe it's a better way to actually create a new amenity block. And we need a new amenity block in our Lions Park West Dubbo area. And so rather than go to a normal construction method, we thought, well, maybe this is a good chance to demonstrate the technology that will be used in a 3D printed house. And you can imagine an amenity block is much easier to create than a whole house. So we're going out to tender at the moment for 3D printing the amenity block. So people can put in a tender price for the amenity block, but we won't accept normal construction methods. We'll only accept someone that's going to 3D print that amenity block. I'm really excited to see who's out there that can do that, what companies are out there. Even with the 3D printed housing concept, Kerry, we've had lots of people from around the nation who have come forward, even people from overseas, to be part of that. In this particular amenity block, I think we're going to get a huge number of tenders come in for 3D printing that amenity block. We hope it'll be cheaper and faster to create that amenity block with this method.
Yeah, and of course it's a good thing too, looking at the housing shortages and all that sort of thing, making it faster to build houses as well. Now, the other thing that's happening, and I'm very interested in this, in Wellington, the council has actually leased out a piece of property for a cafe.
Yeah, that's right. This is actually something that was about $600,000 spent on this particular area to create a whole cafe spot and a cultural centre. And then we've been negotiating with the Wellington Local Aboriginal Land Council because we'd love them to move in there, create a cafe, make a thriving business. This is right in Cameron Park, right in the centre of Wellington. And we've done a deal with them where we're leasing it to them for $1 per year for the first year, and then we'll look at that and see how well they've gone with that and hopefully continue on and eventually get to some sort of commercial lease rate. But we want that business to be successful. We want that real cultural presence. We think it's great for tourism, for people to come along and look at some of that Aboriginal culture there. And of course, the cafe helps them come along and have a coffee while they're looking at some of that culture that'll be there. So I think it'll be a really exciting spot, a really successful process, we hope, and we're trying our best to make it successful by making it only $1 a year.
I think it's a great idea. idea because, it also opens up the culture, as you said, also the art, and sort of just calling in and saying g'day, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we really want it to be successful. Again, we're not getting much return on our $600,000 investment at $1 a year. It's a long time before we get anywhere near our money back. But I think from a tourism perspective and what it injects into the Wellington economy, it'll be worth in the short term. But we don't want it to be $1 a year forever. We just want to get them started and get them up on their feet and then introduce a more commercial rent down the track.
Thank you for your time this morning. I know you're very busy, sir, but we do appreciate when you speak to us. Thank you for that.
Always my pleasure, Kerry.
Have a good day, mate.